morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to First Drive with Albert Schwartz. On today's inaugural episode of First Drive, we'll be featuring the 1985 Pontiac Fiero SE 2M6. This vehicle is being provided today by Pennant Motors in Erie, Pennsylvania. Pennant Motors specializes in foreign and niche specialty market vehicles. For more information, please visit their website at pennantmotors.com. This Survivor is in absolutely new condition and even retains its original wiper blades. There are very few Fieros out there that match the condition of this vehicle. It is configured with nearly every possible option with no checkbox left behind. And this very rare 2M6 SE chassis, as opposed to the typical GT, makes it truly special in its own right. It even has the very exclusive suede fleece interior combination, which is not seen on many of these vehicles. If you know how to put the top down on a 300ZX convertible, you could probably figure out where the gas door switch is on a 1985 Pontiac Fiero. The Pontiac Fiero was the first vehicle to use a composite space frame. The Fiero was the second safest vehicle sold in North America from 1984 to 1988, of course beat out by the Volvo 740DL station wagon. The distinguishable Banshee whale of the 2.8-liter V6 was used in our introduction today. 140 horsepower and 170 foot-pounds of torque in a 2,700-pound car makes this collectible still very fun to drive. This Fiero has a mere 22,661 miles upon test drive. General Motors actually doubled the sales of the competitive Toyota MR2 AW11 with the Fiero. take it out for a drive here and see what we have. Trying to get this out to Presque Isle by dusk, take some nice photographs. Presque Isle is actually one of the nicest spots to visit here in Erie when picking up a car from Pennant Motors. That's who presents us with this car today. Pennant Motors has taken this vehicle on consignment. The owner of this vehicle is a combat wounded Navy veteran who we're assisting in the sale of his classic Pontiac Fiero. Now this vehicle does have classic Pennsylvania tags. However, I'd like to note that the owner of the car has went above and beyond and actually got it inspected as well. So just making sure that everything is in mechanical spec. Sometimes with vehicles that are classic or antique, you might find that they don't get their annual check over. This has not been spared in this case. The air blows cold. It is a time capsule of a vehicle. Even earlier, let's see if this will work here at this low speed. The cruise control, GM cruise control stock, still works and still has the paint on it noting off, on, and resume in Excel. My first car was a 1986 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. This kind of takes me back to my cruise control stock, which did not work on my Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. In the making of this car, no parts bin item was spared. The suspension on the front is actually the same suspension as a Chevette, which might not be that impressive here in the front, but they did opt with larger brakes on the Pontiac Fiero. The Fiero brakes actually are a common upgrade for the Chevette. But as you can see, this vehicle is nice. I mean, everything about it functions. It has every single option, including the decal on the windshield, as well as even the OEM mud flaps. Let me turn this heat down. It's getting hot in her. Trying to make it out to Presque Isle to get a nice sunset picture. See if we can get that done here. I'm trying. This is as close as you can get to driving a new car. I mean, my hands are off the wheel, still going straight. This is very, very impressive. This is actually the last day in Erie where something like this could even be driven. We had highs in the mid 50s today. Here, let's give it some gas, see if we get some grunt. You can really hear the grunt inside the cabin. Oh, yeah. It's beautiful to drive. Oh, handles those bumps so nicely. Slow her down. It's kind of funny, but this thing is surprisingly 140 horsepower in a 2,700 pound car. It does seem to get out of its own way. I'm trying to see how far I can make it without using the pop-up headlights. But right at dusk, I think I need to pull them out. Yeah. There's something about driving a car with these headlights. Love pop-ups. My last car to have pop-up headlights was my 91 Eclipse GST, and I miss them. It helps when tracking on the road too as well. Just something about entering a corner with pop-ups, and definitely the vintageness of it sticks out, and I'm sure people are noticing. It's sad to know that many of the millennials in this generation might not even know what pop-up headlights were. Oh, we're coming up on Presque Isle here in Lake Erie. This is exciting. Right at dusk. I don't really want to be driving this car at night. I'm going to grab a bite to eat after this on the way back, but I got to hold my speed. Like I said, this car is a roller. They actually get over 40 miles per gallon with the 4-cylinder, being only 2,700 pounds. Now the 4-cylinder was kind of underpowered. That's why they opted to come out with the V6 here as an option. Now at the beginning of this video, I have 8 subscribers.
So if you please share these videos. I work at a dealership where we get a lot of cool, quirky cars in. We get a lot of European, foreign, but actually, like, this car is very, very special. I actually had contacted a couple museums regarding it because it is of that quality. Honestly, if it were to be parked, it could be preserved for a lifetime. But at the same time, if the right owner comes along next year and really just takes care of it and keeps it on the road, it's really what this car deserves. Excellent. Excellent automobile. I mean, this is just amazing. This is actually getting me to want a Fiero. It sounds funny, but the V6 Fieros are actually the best kind. And I know everybody makes the joke. In 1984, they did have an issue with them catching on fire. I believe 7% of the units, I believe it was 200 units total, right around that area, had actually caught fire because they had numerous issues, and they ended up making a recall. And this car does have a stereo in it, but I don't think it needs it because the growl of it is just keeping me entertained right now. I love the gauges too as well. I'm gonna have to show you the gauges. I'm trying to do like a little bit of a walk around. I'll probably have to conclude the walk around tomorrow when we have daylight again. Speeding. This torque is making me want to speed. Actually, let's put the heat on. Let's put the heat on. Turn the blower on just to 1. Let's put the windows down. Let's get a little bit of the experience. See if we get capture a little bit of that Fiero noise we wanted to hear. Oh, the torque just moves this car. Like, I love that. That's something I do miss with having a foreign car with a smaller engine. These, even in a V6, I have no throttle, and it's just giving me that nice little hum. I got a dad checking this out here, going around the corner. That's a Ferrari. Nope. It's a Fiero. The owner of the car actually took this vehicle to the Chevy dealership, McQuillan Chevrolet, in Girard, Pennsylvania, because it's so throaty from the factory. He thought it actually had an exhaust leak. It's such a really cool sound and very distinctive.